What's going on, everybody? Welcome to After Prison Show. And if you're just tuning in after watching the YouTube Rewind 2018, trust me, you landed at a good channel and on a good video. I'm going to make this a lot more worthwhile than any of that was. And why wasn't After Prison Show on that? I'm sure there's a lot of other YouTubers who are probably saying the same thing. Why wasn't my channel featured in the Rewind? I wanted to jump out of the bus and pretend like I was playing Fortnite in real. I'm good. I'm not too salty about that. If we can get just one like on this video, I promise you, we're gonna make an After Prison Show 2018 year in Rewind. And it's gonna be a lot better than the actual Rewind video was. But folks, today I'm gonna do something that I haven't done in a long time, and that is tell you guys a prison story. So I need to go ahead and dust off the sleeves, because I'm telling y'all right now, I got a gem for you. Now, this is also a really embarrassing story for me, and I don't want any nicknames after this video. Please don't be calling me Little Head Monster, Little Monster Head, Little Boily Neck 69. I don't want no nicknames. Yeah, this is a really embarrassing story that I'm going to share with you guys. It's also going to be really interesting as well. And the story is going to involve quite a few different moving parts. You're going to be learning in this prison story about the many different uses of Vaseline in prison, something that they sell on commissary. Vaseline actually has quite a few different uses while locked up, and you're going to be hearing about quite a few of those in this video as well. I'm also going to be explaining to you guys what it's like to go to a job fair while in prison and serving time. That's going to be something that I think you guys are going to find quite interesting as well. And last but certainly not least, probably the main emphasis of this prison story, again, I cannot emphasize enough just how truly embarrassing the story actually was for me. The story takes place back at the last prison that I was at. And it was at this last prison that was a re-entry prison. They had all sorts of different prisoners who would be housed at this prison. You had guys who were there for re-entry no matter how much time they had already served. Some guys serving like 20 plus years before ending up at this somewhat kiddie camp type of a prison. It was a level 2. But then you also had youth offenders who were there, little wildin' out Tekashi 69 type individuals who had crazy charges, and a lot of these guys were gang members. You also had drug offenders and also guys who were here for behavior modification, guys that got in a lot of trouble, guys that had like mental problems. This prison was an absolute clusterfuck. And this prison was also where I would wrap up the last 2.5 years of my 7-year prison sentence. But it was at this infamous prison, a place called Indian Creek, where I would learn about something that I had not known about or even experienced yet in the 5 years that I had already served. And I know your minds are probably going to a dark and negative place. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about, oh, who Joe talking about? He about to learn about something, experience something. Oh, I know what you, boy, Joe, tell me, did it hurt? Get your minds about the gutter. I'm talking about a job fair, nothing else. Nothing else that I would learn about or experience, no. But these job fairs wouldn't just be job fairs. They were actually referred to as something else, and that was called resource fairs. Because not only would you have these vendors come in from these different companies and these different places where guys were supposedly and allegedly able to go and try to apply to get work after getting released. I say that because one of the companies that came in there was Walmart. And you know, there was all this big talk about Walmart not even really hiring felons. They might hire some type of felons, but they definitely ain't gonna hire no felons who got no stealing charges, theft charges, robbery, shoplifting, grand larceny, petty larceny. I'm quite sure that there's quite a few different types of charges that Walmart's just not gonna hire you if you've got those on your record. But not only would it be these alleged jobs that guys could supposedly go home and get or try to get, it would also be other types of organizations that were here as well. Certain church groups that might give you like a bag of groceries when you get released. There would be halfway houses there. There would be like community college information there. There would usually be quite a few different types of organizations and companies at these resource fairs. The crazy damn thing about it is most of these, they didn't really do too much to help guys. I mean, they look good on the surface, but when you get out there and you try to work with these organizations, I've heard of quite a few guys not receiving all that much help from these people. In fact, when I got released, and this is a little FYI for you guys, a little food for thought. You know, when I got released, this was over 3 years ago, one of the first places that I tried to get some help from was from social services. I actually tried to get food stamps. I legitimately needed those. And you know, they denied me. They wouldn't give me food stamps because of the charges I had on my record. If you've got drug sale charges, selling drugs on your record, you're not getting no food stamps. But let you have a charge involving a child, you're gonna qualify all day long. Now, one thing to keep in mind about these resource fairs that would happen, I think, like twice a year, is that, you know, there was this unspoken rule about these things. It was sort of like a little bit of prison politics, something that the prisoners knew that you just knew. And that was, anytime that these job fairs came up, you know, you knew going into these things that you're probably not gonna find all that much help at all, if any. And you damn sure ain't gonna be going in there finding no job that's gonna be ready to hire you as soon as you get released. It's just not gonna happen. The chances of you receiving any type of beneficial help from this is probably a very low percent. But guys knew this and they accepted this. At least most guys did. And by most guys, I mean the convicts. The convicts, they knew this. They knew these job fairs and these resource fairs were mostly just for show. But you had these other prisoners, and I'm gonna go ahead and refer to these guys as the inmates. These are the guys that really just didn't have no clue. And you know, it was crazy, the difference between the convicts and the inmates anytime that these job fairs would come up. The job fair would take place on whatever day. The guard would come into the housing unit saying, hey, who's trying to go to the job fair? Line up here right now, give me your name, make sure you got your name tag on, tuck your shirt in, have your pants pulled up, don't be sagging your pants, make sure that you look presentable, you're going out here trying to find a job. Who's trying to go? Come up here and sign up right now. And ironically, with everything that I've just mentioned about these things, and it's not seeming like there was all that much help that you were going to be able to receive from these, you'd be surprised to learn that most all of the prisoners were lining up trying to go to these job fairs. You would have a certain set of prisoners, certain group, maybe a few, who just weren't going. And trust and believe me when I tell you, I was one of them guys up there in that line with my shirt tucked in, pants pulled up. I ain't doing no sagging, name tag display. I'm ready to put my name on that piece of paper and go to the job fair. But me, as well as many others, would look at the guys who weren't going and ask these guys, hey, yo, Ricky Bobby, you ain't trying to go to the job fair? They calling the name. You got to put your name on it. You ain't going. Man, I ain't going to no job fair resource. Man, that's for the birds, man. They ain't going to give me no help. How they going to help me? Help me? I'm in prison. You can't help me. You ain't giving me no job. I'm serving time. Old folks like Ricky Bobby had the game messed up. You see, they didn't understand the prison politics. They didn't understand the unwritten rule. Because most all of the other prisoners, they knew. They knew they weren't going down there to receive no type of help. Help? Help me? How you gonna help me? I'm in prison. We all were. That's not what this was about at all. And in fact, before I even tell you what it's about, I gotta give you guys a little bit of what the morning of a job fair / resource fair was actually like at this prison. You see, on whichever day this resource fair was to take place, convicts would be waking up bright and early. They getting up as soon as the sun crack, using that same toothbrush that they just brushed their teeth with to clean up them Air Force Ones. They gonna be dressed to the nines. They gonna be looking extra presentable, pants pulled all the way up, shirt tucked in, name tag displayed. And they also gonna be breaking out the Vaseline for a number of different reasons. They're gonna be shining up those Air Force Ones or whatever type of Lamborghinis they got. Lamborghinis is prison slang for your nice pair of shoes. Shoes that you wear on special occasions in prison. Anytime that you're going to church or to visit, or when your lawyer's coming to see you, better hope your lawyer's never coming to see you while you're in prison. 50% of the time, that's not gonna be a good thing. But they got the Vaseline out on that money, on them shoes, them Lamborghinis, and they greasing them down. Making them shoes look like when they walk into that resource fair that they just walk through the rain. Them Lamborghinis is glistening. It's sunny outside. Why your shoes look wet? Not only would that Vaseline be used for those shoes, they would also use the Vaseline to slick their hair back. It could be used as like some type of hair gel. Could also be used to put it across their teeth to make their teeth look like they just shining. Boy, your teeth is extra crispy. How you get your teeth shine? Vaseline. Why you got Vaseline in your mouth? Might even take a little dab of that Vaseline, put it on their lips and on their face. Get their face all shot. Boy, Vaseline, there's a lot of different uses for it. And we haven't even got to the use that I used it for. And don't even, I know where your mind's going. Your mind's going over here. I need to keep your mind going right. Don't be letting your mind go sliding off into the gutter now. On days of the resource fair, guys would be up bright and early getting ready, getting haircuts, shaving. You want to be looking crispy before you go walking up in that gym where that resource fair is about to take place at. And the reason for this is not because you're in here trying to impress any type of potential employer. There's no potential employers in there. Everything, again, is in here for show. You got a better chance of finding a job going to a 6th grade science fair project, because that's what this is going to look like. They're going to have those cardboard, billboard type of things sitting on the table. Ooh, Walmart, huh? Y'all how I felt. You don't. What you doing here then? But the reason you're getting dressed up to the nines and the reason you want to look extra presentable on this day in particular is because you're going to have tons of what is referred to as outside vendors coming onto the compound. And what that really means, if we go ahead and break that thing down into convict terms, what that really means is there are going to be some women coming on the compound. And they're gonna be all up in that resource fair. And convicts know this, inmates don't. I'm not going to the job fair, stop asking me, I don't need a job. I got a job mopping floors in the prison, I'm serving time. Convicts know, inmates, they ain't got no clue. You walk up into the gym where the resource fair is at, and the first thing that you do when you go up in there is you walk up to what's like referred to as the orientation table. And it's there where you get a little treat, a little gift bag. And it's really not much of a gift or a treat. What they do is they give you this little dumb plastic bag, and inside of it, they give you an ink pen, and they give you a small little notepad. And that way, you're supposed to be able to take that pen and that notepad and be able to write down whatever resources you got. Walmart, Mr. Walmart, your phone number is 911. I'll give you a call, sir, as soon as I get released. I'll be looking forward to working for you. Your little gift/treat bag is supposed to be for writing down any information that you get from any potential resources. However, convicts know that ain't what that bag is at all. See, what they doing is as soon as you walk into that resource fair and you go up to that orientation table, what they doing is they're giving you the game. They're giving you the keys to the kingdom. I walked up in here. I can't take a pen down the boulevard with me because that could be used as a weapon, but y'all gonna give me a pen and something to write on in here. Y'all done gave me like a little black book. That's what the convict's gonna call it. That's my little black book. And what you're gonna do with that pen and that little notepad, you're gonna take that bag, gonna fold that up, and you're gonna hide that because that bag is useful for a lot of other reasons as well. But the pen and the notepad, oh, they super important during the resource fair. Because see what happens after you leave the orientation table? You find your team. You find your set. Hey, yo, Jim Bob, you up here? Hey, what's good, man? Yeah, hey, boy, resource fair. You know what time it is? You got your pen and your notebook? Let's do this. Now you got your team. You're free to mingle. You're free to go from whatever table that you want to go. But there's some more prison politics to keep in mind. So you can't just go cutting up in line. You have to wait your turn. Because there's going to be other sets and organizations and other little cliques of prisoners who are in here doing the exact same thing that you're about to try to do yourself. And what that is, in prison, it's probably referred to that out here in the free world too, but you're about to try to shoot your shot. You see, after you get up with your clique, we got a prison version of like an open world DCL map. You want to scope out the scene. You want to see who's in here, where they at. Forget Walmart. Walmart looking crazy. That's who they brought in here to represent Walmart. Wow. But that little community college table right there, boy, you see that girl working over there? She look like she in college. Dang. Hey, look, we're gonna make our way over there. The main purpose for prisoners when it comes to these resource fairs ain't the resources, well, it is. It's just not the resources they're presenting on the surface. It's the resources that come through the women. You go up to that little college table where that cute little girl's working at. Hey, girl. Oh, are you the professor? I'm sorry, you look extremely smart, extremely. Girl, you look smart. Yeah, how you doing? They call me Jay Smooth in here. I just looked at, I see the way you look, I just look this way. Nah, but see, I'm interested in furthering my education. If you get my drift. I'm really interested in furthering my education. When I get released, girl, I got a release date. I mean, does it mean anything to you? It's gotta be Arco. I'm gonna go ahead and stop doing all that before this gets to Cringe Fest AF 1000. But you get my drift. You're in the resource fair, there's tons of women in here, not all of them are attractive, but you're gonna have some. And that's why these guys, these convicts, they go to the resource fairs. That's why I used to go. I learned about this, something I'd never experienced before in my life. I learned about getting up early because I was a convict. I wasn't no inmate. I started as one. The first resource fair, I ain't going to that. I'm Joe G. I'm Tattoo Joe up in here, man. I'm making all sorts of ramen soups. I don't need no job. I'm going to go home and they're going to pay me in ramen soup just like they're doing it. But I would learn. You're going to learn today. I learned after that first resource fair when everybody was coming back talking about, damn, Joe, you should have seen the girl working at Walmart, though. You go to the resource fairs to try to meet women. And you know what's crazy is this sounds probably preposterous. You would not believe how many guys actually fill that notebook up. They might not fill it up, but they'll get at least 1 or 2 strikes. And that means they got a number they can call. Because it's interesting to think about this. You know, some of these women who come in here, oh, they are DTF. Down to DTF, down to, I don't know a Disney Channel flow type of word that I could use for that F. Down to frequently call, frequently talk. But folks, I know you're probably thinking to yourself, Joe, you've told us all of this thus far, like where's the Vaseline? And let's go ahead and get to that. Throughout the 2+ years that I was spent at this prison, there was plenty of resource fairs that came and went. The first one I didn't go to, I went to every single one afterwards though. And you know, if I can remember correctly, I think this happened during the very last resource fair that I would experience while I was in prison. And you know, it's just crazy that this was how it would end up happening, but you know the resource fair is coming. It's coming in 2 weeks, 1 week, a couple of days. You're getting anxious, you're anticipating, you don't know who you're gonna meet. Again, this is the last one of these that I'm gonna be experiencing, so I'm thinking to myself all sorts of crazy things. Who knows? Maybe I might meet me a girl that I can go home and deal with, a girl that I can go home and kick the bobo with, chop it up, parlay, politic, have a nice conversation with about how intelligent you are. Girl, you look intelligent. But you know, as it was getting closer to this last resource fair that I would experience, I started to feel a little growth. I guess that's really the best way that I could put that before this gets extremely gross. It's about to, and I apologize. Folks, I started to feel this growth on my neck. And you know, when I shave, I oftentimes get hair bumps. I don't get them all the time, but sometimes I do. And for whatever reason, it must have been fate. But as it would get closer to the day of this resource fair, this growth that I was feeling would turn into this monster hair bump on my neck right here. And it wasn't just like off to the side. It wasn't down low. This thing was right on my Adam's apple. You know, when you get a bump, you probably should just like leave it alone, put like a hot compress on it, something like that. When I get a bump, it doesn't matter where it's at. It could be on my neck, on my nose, on my back, on my... Look, when I get a bump, I tend to like mess with it. I pick at it, I scratch at it, I make it a lot worse. Probably the worst thing that you can do, messing with dirty hands all up on it. Well, this bump was one that I was messing with, hoping that if I could just alleviate the tension and the pressure on this thing, it might go away. No, folks, it did not go away. It got ginormous. It was embarrassing too. There was nothing I could do to cover this thing up. You know, the resource fair is tomorrow. I'm in the bathroom. It's that evening, the night before, and I'm in there with my shirt, because you can wear collared button-up shirts in there. I got my collar popped. I'm trying to button the top button right here. I'm looking like I'm an MS-13. And that bump is like hanging right over the collar. It's like peeking out, like a little mini-me, like that other head just sticking out saying, hey, what's up? Hey, I'm here now. I'm here, what's good? It's Lil Joe. Little boiling neck up in this beat. And you know, there's this misconception, this prison myth or urban legend or this rule that really isn't what, you know, you would think that it is. And what that is, you know, when you're in prison, you don't see nothing. You just keep your eyes straight ahead. Folks, that is a major urban legend. That's a myth, okay? Because when in prison, dudes see everything, and they will point it out. Yo, look at what yo, wow. And they might not do it to that extreme, but trust and believe me, prisoners see everything. And just like AOL online in a chat room back in the day, people ain't doing nothing but talking about it. ASL, age, sex, location, where you at? Oh, they gonna talk, they gonna gossip. So, you know, as I'm in the bathroom the night before trying to figure out, like, how can I get rid of this? How can I cover it up? I can't do nothing. I mean, it's right here, sticking out like my finger. What's good? You ain't gonna say what's up to me though. A little boiling neck up in the house, you gonna speak to me. Folks, there was nothing I could do to cover this thing up. I thought about wearing a scarf. You can't wear one of those. You can't wear a mask in prison. Couldn't put a Band-Aid on it. The thing was as big as my finger. So I'm in here the night before this resource fair, and I'm trying to figure out what to do. I'm messing with my collar, trying to pop my collar, and sticking right above it. And somebody comes up to me and they like, yo, Joe, what's going on, man? You getting ready for the resource fair? That joint ain't till tomorrow morning. Boy, you an OG for real. You a convict for real. You get ready the night before. Hey, yo, good look, boy. You know I'm an OG for life. Damn, Joe, what is that? What is that thing on your neck? It look like a finger coming. That's like a little, what you got, like a little head growing out of your neck right there? What the god, you got that god sip of Herpel? I mean, what the good, boy, what is that thing on your lip that's on your neck, though? Legitimately, like every single prisoner that I came across between that evening and the next day gave me pretty much that exact same reaction. And it was embarrassing. You know, they making fun of me. Yo, y'all see Joe, man? Hey, Lil Joe, you ain't gonna speak to us, though. Boy, you know I'm about to speak to y'all. What's good? Hey, what's good? Hey, let's go over here, big Joe. Hey, Lil Joe up in this beat. Hey, little boiling neck. I ain't no Lil Joe, little boiling neck. I'm not gonna lie, it got to me, you know? It did. It was a shot to my pride, shot to my confidence. It was nothing I could do about it. So I went to bed that night thinking to myself, I'm not going to the resource fair. I don't deserve to be there. Not with little boiling neck on my neck. It's because of you we ain't going. Don't be mad at me for this. This got your dirty hands all up on your neck though. You mad at me? What you trying to do? You trying to do something? I wasn't going to this final resource fair. I didn't care about meeting women or being a convict, getting my pin, my little gift/treat bag. I didn't care. At least I tried to act like I did. And you know, all night I stewed and festered on this. I rolled over, a little boiling neck kept trying to wake me up. And the next day I woke up and I devised a plan. I devised a plan that involved Vaseline. A plan that was crazy, but you know, it was just so crazy, it might actually work. Folks, I woke up the next morning, I thought to myself, I said, what if I take some Vaseline, right? Just hear me out. I know this is gonna sound crazy, but I take some Vaseline and then I take some colored pencils. I take a yellow, I take a red, I take an orange, I take a brown. And I break those colored pencils up, I crush them up and break them down to dust. And then I mix them with the Vaseline. You get where I'm going? I mix them with the Vaseline. And now I've made colored pencil paste for each of these colors. So I could take this colored pencil paste and I could begin to mix those individual colors together sort of like some paint and try to devise a Vaseline Kim K new makeup line type of skin tone concealer. I'm in the bathroom in prison, a convict who's been down for 5+ years already. Early in the morning, up at the crack of dawn on Resource Fair Day, not cleaning off my Air Force Ones, putting that Vaseline all over them, not slicking back my hair with it or getting it on my face to make sure I look shiny like a billboard, no. I'm in there with this Vaseline concoction of like some Kim Kardashian makeup in prison. Convict for life. You know, guys came in there and they were no longer making fun of me for a little boiling neck on my neck right now. No. They were like, Joe, you were in the bathroom in the mirror playing with makeup. Boy, did peaches get to you? I mean, what you doing here, Joe? Boy, you is an OG for real, though. Y'all see what Joe doing with little boiling neck? Boiling neck gave you that idea. This man in here with the makeup. Oh, you a metrosexual for real, though. You a millennial convicted felon. Where they do that at? I ain't never, boy, only person I seen play with the makeup were Peaches and Punk Tattoo Guy and Cherry and Strawberry. Some tried to make fun of me, others thought that it was absolutely genius. And I thought the latter as well, however. This did not work at all. This did not work. I got nowhere near a skin tone that didn't look like a bunch of clumps and grease. It didn't work. So I had to scratch that idea. And you know what? I said, well, guess what? I came up with this idea. I've been dealing with it from all of these prisoners. I've been dealing with the jokes, little boiling neck. I get it. There's two of me now. I wiped the grease off of my neck, and I said, you know what? I'm going to this resource fair no matter what. It's my last one. I got to experience this. I had no idea I would experience my final resource fair the way that I did. Let's fast forward through everything that I've already told you about what it's like to walk into a resource fair. Let's fast forward right to the part where I'm in there. I am in the mix with my team that don't even really want to be seen with me right now. Hey, Joe, what's good? Hey, we're going to be over here, Joe. Hey, go talk to that girl from Walmart. We're gonna be over here. They sort of left me hanging, but that's okay. You see, because I was going to hold my head up high in this place regardless, folks. I had no choice. I couldn't put my head down because it was like I had a hydraulic press underneath my neck. Boy, you going to hold me up in here. You ain't going to be trying to keep me out of the press. I'm going to talk to these girls too. I'm going to talk to them right along with you. And attempt to talk to these women, not only would I do, but he would as well, little boiling neck. You see, it would happen kind of haphazardly. It would happen kind of almost by fate. It had to be fate or karma, again, like I said earlier. I'm in there, I'm minding my own business. I'm trying to look around. I'm looking over here, little boily neck's looking over there. Boy, I got something over here, Joe. Boy, little boily neck got some, Joe. Let's go over here. I'm just sitting in there really minding my business, trying to scope everything out, trying to keep my head as low, keep a low profile as much as I could, just trying to experience this final resource fair when all of a sudden, I would kind of cock my head to the side, cut my eyes a little bit like some Venetian blinds, Tekashi 69. And when I cut my eyes, I made eyes with a woman that I knew. You see, folks, who I made eyes with was a counselor who no longer worked at the prison. I'm not sure if she got walked off of here like so many others did as well, meaning they got fired and escorted off of the prison. I don't think that she did because she probably wouldn't be allowed to come back in here. I think that she quit being a prison counselor because she realized that was a joke and then began working with an organization that was here doing the resource fair. When I cut my eyes and made eyes with this woman, she said, Joe Guerrero. I heard what she was saying, but I didn't want to turn around. I couldn't. I couldn't stand to face her twice. Two-face. Show her both of my heads, and I'm not talking about that other one. I'm talking about the one caught in between. But she kept calling my name, and I would have to do it eventually, and I finally did turn around. Joe! Joe, is that you, Joker? What the whoa? It was good to see you, Joe. Hey, good luck. Don't touch me, no. I don't want to shake it. Good luck. I just want to say good luck to you. But you ain't going to say nothing to me, though. I'm right here, the good guy. hey, boy, did it hurt? Did it hurt when you feel that? But hey, what's your name? She never commented on little boily neck. She didn't have to, though. You know, because the look said it all. As soon as she said my name, she said, Chuck. And, you know, it was almost like I could read her mind. She was probably thinking to herself, like, that thing on my lips slid down to my neck. I mean, I don't even, that gonosyphilis. She noticed it immediately. There was no way that she could try to play it off because it caught her so off of guard. I mean, little boiling neck was just wide open with it. He was just so outspoken without even having to say a word. I've experienced a lot of embarrassing things in prison. That one right there most certainly is pretty high on the list. You know, it's one thing to be embarrassed in prison. It's another thing to have that embarrassment come via a woman in prison. That's a whole different level and type of embarrassment altogether. I would end up leaving from that job fair not having a single name, number, nothing on my little prisoner black book that I was given as soon as I walked in there. Probably had only scribbled a note to myself like, why did I put myself in this position? But you know what? That's okay. Because at least I hope now it made for an entertaining story to share with you guys. And I also shared a recipe with you guys of something that did not work at all, trying to make skin tone makeup in prison out of Vaseline. You know, there are a lot of different uses for Vaseline. I know of prisoners who have used Vaseline as makeup. Peaches used to mix broken up pencil graphite with the Vaseline and use it as eyeshadow. Joe, how do you know that? I know that it works. I just never dabbled with makeup while I was locked up until that one particular time, and it didn't work. Probably could have. I probably had to cut a little wrong, a little less Vaseline to a little more colored pen. I don't know. But yeah, I just wanted to share that story with you guys. A lot of different uses for Vaseline, what a prisoner resource fair is really like, why guys actually go to them, and also a pretty embarrassing prison story as well. Hey, look, that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did so, please leave a like and a comment letting me know exactly what you thought about it. As always, until next time, enjoy life, the free world. Never take a moment for granted, and make the most of every day.